You really do want a little bit of grassed area beyond before your break point, because if you start right at that edge and break off, then you have something that becomes an erosion problem.
I would do 1 foot on each side.
That's still 7, foot and a
So
half.
you got 10 feet, and you got 8 feet, and you put 1 foot on each side. 8 plus 1 and 1 is 10. That's 10-foot dimension right there.
2 on the inside and 1 on the outside.
No, 1 and 1.
So it's a 7-foot asphalt trail.
No, 1 foot of grass strip, 8-foot trail, 1 foot of grass strip.
Okay.
That way it splits the difference.
I can make that request and see where it goes, and just let you know. The berm width is
On the Kingston Pike.
it's.
Kingston Pike was, what, 0.2 of a mile maybe?
Wish you hadn't asked me that. That was part of my Ken speech. I want to say it's about 1,200 feet west and about 500 feet to the east. So it's 1,800 feet.
I was thinking that if, since the concrete is the objection, basic objection, that maybe just leaving the 5-foot sidewalk but changing the material to asphalt, that portion might be satisfactory.
Might be kind of tough to pour a 5-foot asphalt. I don't even, can you do a 5-foot?
I don't know if you, I don't know if
6
you can do a 5-foot section.
I can check.
I've never
I
seen
don't
it,
know, I just think looking for,
but just.
What I normally do is talk to people who know for sure. And
Yeah,
before I send a letter out requesting something that can't be done.
I'm not going to ask you for an answer, but what I was
Okay.
getting at basically is that whatever you propose to do, it actually reduces the cost, and they're a lot more likely to say yes than no.
One thing I'd point out, this is one of the fastest moving sections of Kingston Pike. I drive it every day. And to narrow that grass strip to a foot, an 8-foot walking trail sounds great, I'm all for it, but I'm not all for it there. I don't want a 1-foot distance between a walking path and Kingston Pike.
Another concern with a 1-foot grass strip is it's really hard to grow grass in a 1-foot grass strip.
So I would recommend, if they can't change the 5-foot from concrete to asphalt, then just leave it as is. But making it 8 foot wide there, I think it's going to look awful, and it's not going to be safe. It just is not going to be safe. No, but the inside edge would be, unless I misunderstood what you said, you were looking where you've got it, make that a foot.
You're talking about a comfort level that if I'm walking by myself, all you got to do is watch people walking on Kingston Pike, and everybody walks on this side. If you're
Absolutely.
On a bicycle, what it would provide for is you actually to meet somebody.
Well, I agree with that. I know that. You've done a great job over the years educating us on that. But you know what? I don't want to take the risk of meeting somebody 1 foot away from Kingston Pike. Because I can tell you right there, I don't care what the speed limit is, they're doing 55.
But if you meet
if
somebody
not
on an
60.
8-foot surface, it's safer than meeting someone on a 5-foot surface.
Yeah, I would argue not a foot from Kingston Pike, though. I'd rather take the time and walk around somebody than I would be a foot closer or 2 feet closer to Kingston Pike. I see accidents every day in what I do, and that is not a wide choice. Somebody clips that curb, and they come up on there just a little ways, it's going to be a disaster.
So where's the red light compared to that?
Well, the red light would be down at the intersection, yeah.
That will slow the traffic down a little bit.
If it's a red light.
At 55 miles per hour, 1 or 2 feet, when you hit that person, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
That is an empty argument, although I agree with you on the speed. Like That's probably an understatement of the speed through there.
You can always walk on the 8th foot of the 8-foot wide.
And that's where people will walk. They will walk on, right
Well,
there. When you're bicycling, you will be on this side until you meet somebody, and then you have an even surface where you are less likely to.
I have to
Yep.
confess that Kingston Pike out here between Jamestown Boulevard and Concord Road, that sidewalk pushed right up against the curb. That was my project many, many years ago, but I was only following the request of my client. It's tough to walk out there right up against the curb. It's an unnerving sort of thing. And so I like as much grass strip as you can get. I think the change that was made last year with the 8 feet on our arterials was 2 years ago. That was a really good improvement.
You know, the reality of it is, it's unfortunate that government works this way, because, you know, you have to plan these things in advance and things change. You know, perfect world, it'd be best to have, this is just my opinion, perfect world, I'd rather have an 8 foot on one side of that road so you could have enough buffer. And because the north side of this sidewalk is going to be a sidewalk to nowhere forever. I mean, let's be honest. Everything from Everett Road going east on the north side, you're not going to see that's going to be a sidewalk to nowhere for a long, long time.
They actually connect up.
That's actually an integral part of, because our goal is to have an underpass underneath that bridge there. And we've actually presented that to the board and.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
think
the
what he's-
sidewalk
what he's-
running along the north side of Kingston Pike, from
Backing
Everett
up
Road
to-
coming east, I
backing
mean, unless
up
they
to
redo all of
Fox.
Fox Run, it's never gonna go anywhere.
But it connects to Everett Road.
Backing up to Fox Den, I think at some point, I know the CSW partnership, they will have
They'll have
walking
a
trail or
Yeah,
sidewalk.
they'll have a walking trail.
It's not that far up at Old Stage Road down to this connection. So it could very,
What,
nothing's easy, but it could happen.
Ron, what you have here is that you have Everett Road and the trail. It's off the aerial photograph.
Yeah, I know where you're talking
The trail
about.
actually is right here.
Right,
And then you have the bridge right here,
right.
where we are hoping to have an underpass at one point in time. And then
Well, I agree with that. What I'm talking about, Ruth, is, I wish I had the little marker thing so you could see what I'm pointing at. The, Kate, well, I probably do, I just don't have the mind to do it. You see this swimming pool here on the northeast corner of Everett Road and Kingston Pike, okay? I think it's a swimming pool, right there.
Right there.
What I'm talking about is a sidewalk from right there that would head east to Fox Den. I mean, that's gonna be a sidewalk to nowhere for a long time. I mean, maybe there's something going on that I don't know about, but I just think it's,
It would be a long time,
but again, we
follows
just
our
have to do
jigsaw
these for a long
puzzle
time.
Philosophy, and that's how we've gotten our whole network.
if you look at the property, it's not shown there, but where Old Stage Road comes into Kingston Pike, there's vacant property on the
Oh,
north
no, I'm
side.
fine. Thanks.
There is vacant property on the north side that will eventually be developed, that will have sidewalk or walking
Probably
trail.
walking trail because of the CSW is set the,
And
on the
there's
north side.
CSW just beyond that.
It actually comes around the curve to that, where that old barn was,
Right.
is. There's actually a very small section through there, Ron, with, and that's actually through there where they're putting it in.
Well, I may be wrong. Either way, I'll go back to my original motion. I will have leave the motion on the floor to approve them as is, with the notation that we would like to have Daryl go back and ask for the change
I'll second
that
it.
has been discussed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Then thank you, Daryl, for asking that for us.
Okay. Can that be a verbal first?
Yes.
If I get shot down in flames verbally, do I still have to send a letter
That's up to you.
One bullet's enough, Darrell.
Yeah, just do it verbally.
Okay.
Discussion and public hearing on Concord Road improvements for Turkey Creek Road at Northshore.
This project specifically has not been on our books or in our sites forever, but the corridor itself has been for many years. I think it probably goes back to the late 80s when the town identified the corridor between North Shore Drive and the interstate it's obviously a major transportation corridor for the southwest quadrant of the county. The first phase of improvements between North Shore and the interstate was completed about 5 years ago. That was the Concord Road extension that you can see in the overhead there. The second phase, we're hoping, is completed this week. They're working on lights and a few signal modifications, things out there right now. If not this week, certainly before next Thursday. Everything should be open and all lanes operating correctly. The third phase of the corridor improvements is this project. This extends from Turkey Creek Road to North Shore Drive. You can see it there in the overhead. That is still 2 lanes wide. It extends across the Norfolk Southern Railway, and it will tie into the roundabout on the south side of the railroad. The typical section on this project includes 4 12-foot lanes with an 18-foot median, raised median, 4-foot bike lanes on each side of the road, a greenway on the west side, and a 5-foot sidewalk on the east side. Now, I think this meets all of our requirements that we have currently on the books. It's taken a little bit of negotiation with TDOT to get all of that, but TDOT has agreed to that, and we're happy with the typical section at this point. Right now, it's under, I'm sorry, Ruth, right now it's still in design. We've had the preliminary PS&E, that's a field review of the plans. What you have in front of you is the preliminary plans, proposed layout. At this point, we're looking at a project schedule that would have, we're probably looking at right-of-way acquisition begin in another 18 months or so. That would probably take about 18 months to complete, and then construction would begin. So, all told, this project has funding that is about $6.2 million. That's funded with federal, 80% federal STP dollars and 20% local match. The 20% local match is being picked up by TDOT. So it's actually costing us nothing.
This has the potential to be really a gateway to Farragut. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm very impressed with this. Well done.
We're going across the railroad.
But, I know, and they just made I guess improved the bridge a little bit, this last little construction effort. But, it's gonna, you say it's gonna still be 2 lanes?
No, it will be widened to 4 lanes.
Okay, I misunderstood what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. It will actually be offset from where the bridge is now, more to the west, but it still ties into the roundabout. You'll have 4 lanes there. The outside lanes will tie into North Shore as a free movement as opposed to entering the roundabout to make your movement. If you're turning to the west on North Shore, you'll have a free movement that just empties out onto North Shore with a merge lane for a little ways. If you're on North Shore and you want to turn right, you'll just make your right without actually entering the roundabout like you do now, and that will begin that outside lane.